Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data, and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Whoop, whoop. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have our curly-haired, glowy skin delight, Sarah Colonna. We have so much to discuss. Welcome back.
Thanks, girl. Thanks for having me. You're very bright, pink.
We are both wearing a short set, shorts with a summer top.
Yeah, yours matches a little bit better than mine.
I like the idea that yours doesn't totally match. I feel that's like very fashion forward.
Well,
It's like, bright colors and different things and patterns.
It kind of matches, doesn't it? There's like the orange shorts.
Yeah.
And there's like a little. Okay.
I like a burgundy. I like it all. I
Well,
think it's cute.
The shorts are from Rent the Runway, and I want to
So
buy
you should
them.
give them back.
Yeah. But
Well,
I want to buy them because you can have the option to buy, but right now it says unavailable to buy, so I have to keep stalking the app because obviously someone has them rented after me. It's real tough out there.
Oh my God! If somebody gets these, we're gonna take a full-length photo, and whoever happens to gets these orange shorts that you wore, I mean, this is up there with like the Kardashian closet.
Yeah.
Except you're piggybacking on the Rent the Runway. Someone could be like, I wore these shorts after Sarah wore them running around in the valley heat.
Yeah, like 5 times and I haven't washed them yet. So I don't know if that's like an OnlyFans thing that I could probably get them up there for. It's the size 28 because they do, go for the size 28 if you want the ones that I can't seem to buy.
Oh my God, I will die if someone then has them. That is so funny.
You look kind of like the Barbie movie, like the colors for the Barbie movie.
I'm very into the Barbie. A lot of people are asking me to bring back the Barbies and do stuff with the Barbies. I might. I have a fresh idea over what some of the topics that are coming up today.
Okay.
That I might bring them back to an extent. A couple people have
in honor of the movie.
A few people have started to do exactly what I did, and I am fine with that. It's a lot of work. They do a wonderful job reenacting scenes from Bravo shows with Barbies. But I am inspired to do something, so I might do it later on. I don't know. It's time-consuming, and as you see, Drake has to get to a golf game later on today, so I don't know how much time I have.
Well,
and otherwise, Brandon's going to have to start playing with the Barbies soon. So don't say that I'm not open to everything, okay? Listen. Britney Spears, the book is coming. You can pre-order it. She posted this yesterday. And it is coming out October 24th.
That's exciting.
It's there's more exciting stuff that's happening.
Okay.
So on Tuesday's show, Justin and I talked about what happened to Britney over the weekend when she approached the Spurs player.
And got pushed.
And it was sad that it happened. Anyway, we talked about it and we were like, well, we don't blame the security guard. You're in Vegas. Some woman comes running up to who you're supposed to protect. I'm sure a lot of girls in orange shorts, okay, and blonde hair in Vegas see that tall drink of water and are excited to say hello.
Yes.
And she tapped him from behind, so he didn't know it was Britney behind him. And so we just sort of were saying, I'm kind of glad that the security guard's not in trouble for it. Sad that it happened to Britney, but whatever. So, several people sent me her story yesterday. She says in this video, in the foyer of the Cheesecake Factory, a.k.a. her house, she says, I was listening to a radio show. Now, granted, there's probably 800 other shows that talked about this subject and may have my point of view. But I have been convinced that she is a juicy scooper.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
And she literally said, to say that I deserved it because people do this. I've been around the biggest stars and my security has never treated anybody like this before. And he pushed me away and then my hand hit me and I fell to the ground and they did not approach my table, which they also took over for Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore was sitting there. He went to the bathroom and then they sat him at that table. So she goes, but she said, 30 minutes later, did I get my apology? But I want my apology from me, I believe. So Britney, first of all, I'm going to buy your book, and I'd love to have you in Juicy Scoop.
Yeah, come on the show and just promote your book.
And I would love to talk about all the AI green screen theories and everything I've talked about, from her wedding to everything else. I absolutely will be pre-ordering your book and reading it like the minute it comes available on that Tuesday at midnight or whatever it is, Tuesday morning. But anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't saying you deserved it. I'm just happy that the security guard, who I don't had any ill will to George.
No, it was a reaction.
I'm just glad he's not being sued. I'm glad he's not going to prison.
Right.
It was more about that, not that I'm happy that she got smacked.
Right. And I had the video I was trying to
decipher.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to see where she got hit. I didn't see her fall to the ground in it, but I know there's like different angles. But obviously, nobody wanted to smack Britney Spears in the face,
right?
Because everyone's gonna find out about it. That's for sure.
Yes.
No, and nobody just wants to do that in general. But yeah, he was just reacting in his moment, so it seems like it was just a shitty circumstances that happened.
Now, you being married to Super Bowl winner John Ryan
/ Prince Harry,
also Prince Harry lookalike. So you've had some negative women come up to you. Some people that made their home Ventura Boulevard have approached you.
And just out of nowhere said, "Fuck you, Prince Harry," right to my husband's face. And he said, there was no smacking. I'll say that.
No, he just said, "Thank you."
Yeah.
And then, but have you ever been with the team or something where you're walking through a place and you have security guards and there's just hose be a swatting, just swatting hose, swatting hose, swatting hose?
I have not been through hose be a swatting because I think I've always was meeting him in the family area after games, and then they have, like, when they're leaving the stadium, it was a little bit different. So they go through to their locker room and then directly into their own parking garage. So there was only family and friends. I had to swat a couple friend hoes, I guess, away. You know, people.
What do you
that,
mean friend hoes?
Like friends of other teammates that maybe wanted to come over. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
But there was, it was only friends that we had, like a friends and family area that we went right after the game.
And the expression for what you are is a wag.
Yes.
Wives and girlfriends.
It's just wives and girlfriends.
Oh, just
of, like,
wives and girlfriends of
yeah.
whoever. And there was those shows, the Wags or whatever.
Remember the one. There was one on Wags, and it was football. I think it was football wives. I can't. Not it wasn't called football, but it was called Wags, and so it was like some were basketball wives, some were football. They were all on there, and I just remember they were always on private jets. And I was like boarding my Southwest flight to Seattle, and I was like, what?
To see John,
yeah, or my Delta, which is a nice airline, but it's not a PJ, you know, it's not a private jet. So I couldn't figure out. Obviously some of them were like quarterback money, right? Punter money is a little different than quarterback money, to be fair.
I still think what we should have done back then is we should have done a sketch of just how you just did not fit in this Wags group.
Oh, yeah.
And they're shopping, and then you're pulling your suitcase to go to the Chuckle Hut
and like
in Idaho. And they're like, why does that one have to work? Like, who is that?
Right.
She's a Wag too. Well, she's not one of us.
No, they were nice to me. But
I'm sure they were nice.
No, they really were, but it was funny. In fact, Russell Wilson's wife, Ciara, and she was actually always in, like, when I saw her at a game once, we were all on a bus together, and she was in just a jersey and jeans.
But don't you think that's because she has her own thing going too, maybe? Listen, everybody's different. I'm sure they're all lovely. I follow some on TikTok. I think their families are cute. Like, they're fabulous.
A lot of them just dressed a lot better than I did at games.
Yes. And I don't know that I don't know if anybody else is saying, I've got the Rent the Runway shorts from Sierra.
That's right. I have that. They don't have that.
No, they don't. Okay, so wait. I do want to say something just because we're on the topic. I'm just going to jump to something really quick because this is so amazing. And I want to not show this. Someone just sent this to me. It's from the Chris and Rosie Ramsey show. It's a BBC, like, panel funny type of show.
Okay.
So this clip came out, and I'm like, I just got sent it from a Juicy Scooper, and I'm like, I am saving this for Sarah. And they were talking about WAGs, and that wives and girlfriends are called, of whatever, professional flares. And they said, and they asked this girl, and they go, but wait, what is the name again that they call girlfriends of comedians? And she said, Chuckle Fuckers.
Wait, is that her? The
No,
girl?
she just,
that's
I don't
the
know who
host.
she is. She was just on the show, and the
Oh.
topic was this, and I just got sent an isolated clip, so I don't know the whole show,
Chuckle
but it
Fuckers.
made me laugh. Chuckle Fuckers.
First of all, I want to open a comedy club called Chuckle Fuckers.
Me too. But I was going to say that John and Peter can be called a chuckle fucker.
Oh, that's right. I'm a wag and he's a chuckle fucker.
And then I just saw a clip of Tom Segura's special that came in my feed. And he's, a fabulous comedian. And he's talking about how he moved to this fancier neighborhood, which, by the way, he lived around the corner from me. That's not the neighborhood he's talking about. He moved to Pacific Palisades. It's not a secret. Okay, moved to Pacific Palisades. And he's like, I'm walking around the neighborhood, and there's this former senator, whatever, secretary something. He doesn't say the name, like government official. And he's walking the dog, and the guy goes, hey, are you the comedian? He's like, yeah. The guy goes, where do you think that expression motherfucker came from? And he's like, I don't know. No, now this is a comedian telling a story. Doesn't mean it's 100% true,
Right.
But I thought it was a very funny bit. And then he goes, I don't know. He goes, and then the guy goes, do you think that is because someone really did fuck their mother? And he's just walking by, and I'm like, oh my God, I was just in Newport, and I had so many 50-year-old plus men try to tell me jokes that just. And it reminded me of when I'd go out with my sister in our 20s, and she was a criminal defense attorney, and I was a comedian, and I had to constantly deal with guys being like, you think you're funny? Have you heard this joke? I think I'm funny.
Use this in your bit.
Yes. And I was always still so polite, still today, very polite, having to hear very inappropriate, unfunny jokes from these 50-year-old men, but I'm still but I'm not going to say anything mean to their face because I'm going to be at the Irvine Improv August 4th and 5th. So I was like, I hope you come. You're so funny.
Yeah.
Come to my show.
Maybe I'll do your joke in my show.
Yes,
just tell them that.
exactly.
And
Just
then if they
just
don't,
buy 4 tickets at a VIP table and a meet and greet.
Yeah.
And I will be like, that's a funny motherfucker. So then the guy goes on to tell Tom Segura, what about daughter fuckers? Why doesn't that's not nobody says that? And he's like, no. I don't think that's really working. And it just was I just thought that was so funny. And then to see this, Chuckle Fuckers, I'm going to be using that. I'm going to call Liz, Chris's wife, that to her face.
Yes. I'm going to call anyone I know that does anything with any comedian now a chuckle fucker.
Yeah. Whoever your partner is.
Yeah.
You're a chuckle fucker.
That is really funny. I can't believe
Hope
I
you're
never
proud
heard
of yourself. Hope you're proud of yourself, John Ryan. Hope you're proud of yourself.
He always wanted to be a chuckle fucker.
Very funny. Okay, getting back to our girl Britney. As you know, I don't know if you know or not. I think we've talked about how there are these conspiracies. Is this her? Is it AI generated? What is happening?
Things disappear in the videos behind her
right.
sometimes. Yeah.
So this one, I felt like this is her because we see the bottom of her teeth. Because that's the other thing I saw, that the bottom of your teeth move if they're doing an AI-generated face.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And here you can't really see it, but here you can see the bottom of her teeth. So I do think that was her, and I'm almost thinking she shot this angle for us to see that it's her.
So why do the bottom teeth disappear?
Allegedly, when people do the AI, deep fake something, when they're talking, somehow it's like they can't. It's one of the things they'll probably fix tomorrow. But right now, you can't see the bottom of you can't see the bottom teeth as they're talking.
That's interesting. Oh,
okay. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I didn't like when
but
you did
then,
that.
then this girl in my Juicy Scoop Obsessed group, her name's Michelle. She said, "Okay, I know I'm onto something." She starts freeze framing her dancing. And she's like, why is she all pixelated when I freeze frame it, but in the back, nothing else is blurry?
Oh.
So you see her dancing, and you see the living room with the drapes and the furniture, and then on the terracotta tiled floor, or whatever you call it, and she's mid-turn, it's all pixelated.
Yeah, which is weird. Why would that be? Well,
And-
now I'm going to be all in conspiracy
And then this
on
other Britney Spears person who does, her name's Ashley. She's like a, what do you call it? A impersonator.
Oh, right.
She just released on her page. She's got like 50,000 followers. I just DM'd her, but I haven't heard back because someone sent it to me. Allegedly a DM from some director who says, I want you to, we're doing an AI thing with Britney and will.i.am, and I want you to be part of it. And they're going back and forth, and she's like, I'm totally down. I just need to make sure Britney is down with it, knows that I'm doing this. Now, this
Right.
could all be BS.
Right. But
in the end, Britney, I'm sorry for what I said about you on Juicy Scoop. Come on my show. I'm going to read your book.
I'll read
I don't
it
know.
too.
I don't know. And if you come on Juicy Scoop, there's no way for us to deep fake it. We barely can upload the YouTube.
Right.
So don't worry. We are not going to deep fake you.
Oh. It'll just be you.
So kind of crazy. Okay, so now I want to update and get your opinion
Oh.
about the Jonah Hill controversy. This past weekend, I talked about it on Tuesday. We went through that his former girlfriend, who was a professional surfer, Sarah Brady, shared these text messages between them where he was, in a nutshell, very controlling. But some people would say controlling. Some people would say, hey, this is my boundaries. I'm not comfortable with you surfing with males, posting bikini shots, posting your ass, modeling.
After he hit on her because of all of those things.
Oh,
right?
he did. He reached
Yeah.
out to her. Okay, fill that.
She had said, she had posted in one, and if I get this a little wrong, sorry, but I was going
Yeah,
through it all.
right.
She had posted in one that, like, he had commented, like, I want to see you. I want to see more of you. Something like that before they started dating on one of the same videos that he later wanted her to take down.
Got it.
Yes.
So I shared my opinion. When I read it, I was like, this is just a guy who suffers with insecurities. And it
Yep.
doesn't matter that he's like fit and very popular and successful and tattooed and can surf. He is a guy that's choosing to, in my opinion, take his insecurities out on this girl in the guise of using, all his therapy language of boundaries.
Right.
Now, in the defense of Jonah Hill and the fans of Jonah Hill, they're saying, well, I know girls that do that too, where they say, hey, my boundary is that you don't remain best friends with your ex-girlfriend.
Right.
Okay. Or whatever. Or I don't want you hanging out at a strip club. Okay. I feel this is very different.
It's very different. It's like, because I think the first one that said
It's
it
her
said,
career,
if you
too.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like, if you want boundaryless relationships with men, I can't do that.
Yeah,
Which
that-
I think, okay, well, that's fair enough. But then you keep reading. He's like, bikini shots, surfing with other men, hanging out with girls from your past, unless it's to have a coffee or unless
Like I have to approve
Yeah.
you hanging out with this former friend because if they, in my opinion, party too hard, dress too sexy, don't like me maybe, like to drink, it can be a coffee. And I need to know when, in my opinion, maybe I need to know where the coffee is being had. Is it at Alfred's?
right.
And is it from 11
Oh,
to
that place is so
12:45?
annoying. Did you see the one too where she said that their therapist actually told her if a man approaches her in the water while she's surfing to surf away and say, I need to go talk to my boyfriend?
No, that's amazing.
Yeah. That was very strange to me that a therapist, because there's not.
And also, this therapist, I am guessing, is the therapist possibly that was featured in his Netflix doc about how
Right.
great this therapist is. And I always think that's also interesting with a marriage counselor. And I've said this before. I'm like, they're just people trying to make a buck. Okay? They're not doing brain surgery. They're therapists. Yes, they follow some lines of something, whatnot. But I would not be surprised if there's more people, not saying he did it, that have gone to an actor. Like I go to you and I'm like, Peter's never met you, Sarah. He's fucking driving me crazy, but he says I'm the crazy one and he wants to go to therapy. And he goes, you find the therapist. Why couldn't we just go to an office and set it up? And I'm like, this is his therapist. She comes really highly recommended. Her name's Jenny Jones.
Right.
And then you, in the end, say, Peter, Heather's right.
Yeah.
Heather's right. This is what you need to work on, blah, 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 blah. And then after a month, I go, you know what, honey? Everything's working out so great. I don't even need to see Jenny Jones anymore. And he never knows that I think more people with a couple bucks and some friends that can act should probably try doing this and solve it. Because I remember when once we talked about therapy, my girlfriend goes, just get ready. Because you think you're going to be the one who's right and you might not. And I'm like, you never know. But I also think it's really weird when therapists are like,
take a side.
Yeah. Take a side and then are like too much in your relationship. But I also think if you're going to a therapist, sorry people, before you're ever engaged, you know what? Get on that surfboard and paddle away.
Yeah.
It's not worth your time.
Because I obviously am not a licensed therapist. I should
Except
be.
when I hire you.
Except
but
for when you hire me.
Unfortunately, I'll have to put you in like a wig and like a fake nose.
You'll never know. I can do it for like a fun accent. I'll be like, hello, Peter. It's nice to meet you. He'll never know it's me. I would think that it's a weird... Obviously, we're only hearing her side, to be fair.
Yes.
But I think it's a weird thing for a therapist to say the only way to settle this man's insecurity is for you to literally paddle away from just a person in the ocean who might be like, hey, I've seen your surfing videos. You're really talented. And that's it.
And also, the surfer is not a dolphin that could actually possibly violate you in the water. I mean, You're both in wetsuits. How much action are you supposed to get if you see someone of the opposite sex surfing next to you? And I said this the other day too, like what a paranoid thing that now like you're in your place of work essentially and you're like, oh shit, here's my friend Joey. We've never had anything happen, but oh my God, if Jonah finds out that I talked to Joey as we were waiting for a wave,
right?
And like, how are you supposed to then like, work on your sport?
I mean, and I also told her not to model, and she's like, but that's what I do. So I think that was the main. I know people have their opinions about
people have their opinions where they're like, well, I think that was healthy, and why not set it up? And I mean, I've said to people too
but
that
could she say stop acting because you get too much attention to him? Can she say that? That's my boundary.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, he just doesn't have to do it, but is that also?
Listen, I think you have a right to say all those things, but then your ex also has a right to share it. And half the people can think, I like the way that Jonah laid it out, and the other half can think the way you and I think.
Yeah.
That's fine. But you're a public figure. You put this in writing. Your ex chose to share it. If that's shitty of her, if you think that's shitty of her, fine. But this is the world of information.
Yeah.
We're going to know about everything that you do and say, pretty much. Like,
I think the only thing that I felt was a little bit unfair because obviously Jonah Hill's current girlfriend has nothing to do with this, and she just had a baby. So for her to put it out there at this time,
that was a little. But then she said, because I heard this voicemail that Glorified Gossip Girl, I think, posted an Instagram account that's following this pretty closely. She said on something, I did this after the baby was born because I wanted to share it earlier because I want her to know and I want other women to know that this is possible, that it could happen to them. But I purposely waited so that the stakes were, in her opinion, lower.
So that when she had a newborn baby and things aren't stressful at fucking all, she has to deal with this. Like,
good point.
That's
good
the
point.
only thing.
No, is she a little bitter? Is she, or looking back and now she's been her own therapy. She's like, fuck that motherfucker. He like took a year of my life, gave me anxiety I didn't need, set me back somehow, and I want the world to know whatever her reasons are. Listen,
it's her reasons.
I mean, I think it's. I think it's an interesting conversation to be had. Then she also released these other exchanges in which she came off pretty good. And then the Glorified Gossip Girl who I was reading it was like, I don't know why she's doing these, but maybe she's trying to be fair. Yeah. Because like these other ones were like back and forth and it wasn't terrible. And it was more that he was still seeking her out, but then he was like, hey, by the way, I just want you to know, maybe we shouldn't get together because I'm seeing somebody else. And she was like, okay. And then a magazine posted him kissing in the ocean, possibly surfing, with the new girl. But the magazine,
Why didn't that girl paddle away?
well, in the magazine wrote Sarah Brady, though, in it, because they didn't realize that he was no longer with Sarah Brady. And then she sent that to him, and she said, okay, it's not me. Can you let them know it's not me? Like, this is hurtful. It's not even me. And you're seeing somebody else. And you were literally texting me, and then you go, okay, fine. We had phone sex like 2 weeks ago. Okay, fine. You know, I thought we could be friends. I thought we were being forthright. And he writes so much. Like, he's one of those that's just going on and on. I thought we were friends. I thought we could be friends. And it goes on and on and on.
I didn't see those, yeah.
Meanwhile, this girl, Zoe 101 star, Alexa Nichols, she accused Jonah Hill of forcibly kissing her when she was 16. And she said, I went to a party. This is from Entertainment News or whatever. What is this? Entertainment Weekly. She went to a party in which Justin Long and Jonah Hill were co-hosting it. And she said he offered her a cig, and then he forced his tongue to her throat, and she was 16.
Oh.
Justin Long is like, I don't remember this. I'm denying it. His people are denying it. And they are also, and Jonah Hill's people are also saying she has made other accusations on Twitter and whatnot, this actress, Alexa Nichols, which has not been proven to be true. But also in it, there's a lot of other people saying that he's been a dick, that he's been overly creepy and flirty. And I do know my friends, I do have a friend whose daughter made out with him.
Really?
Yeah.
How old?
College, early college, when she was at one of the major universities in Southern California.
How old was he?
So she is 26 now. So it was maybe 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe she was 21.
Okay.
It's not crazy.
Yeah.
But I was like, look, the only reason she's kissing him is because he's Jonah Hill.
I know.
She has tons of frat cute things to choose from. And she went to a party and she was excited to tell some friends, I made out with Jonah Hill.
Okay,
so it goes both ways.
It does go both ways. So now isn't he even, and obviously if that's true, that's fucking terrible. But it back to the Sarah Brady thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how is she supposed to trust him if this is how he behaves? You know what I mean? She didn't ask him to stop being him.
Also, who knew who Sarah Brady the surfer was before Sunday?
I didn't even know they dated, but I just did some photos of them dressing alike, which seemed annoying.
Yeah, I thought that, and it was not flattering on her, that blue suit.
I know.
So let's see what happens. He's probably just being told just to ignore it and to unsubscribe to Juicy Scoop.
Right. Right along with Britney Spears. No, Britney will never unsubscribe.
No, Britney. No. Miranda Sings, a little update on her. All her live shows have been canceled now.
Oh.
I've been keeping everyone up to date on Miranda Sings. You know the scoop on her.
I don't.
Okay, so she was this YouTuber.
I do, yes.
With
I
the
know
red
she
lips.
is, yeah.
And there are all these awful stories coming out about her, that she talked to her young fans, that she groomed them, that she, one said, I want to come to see your show. And she said, but they were kind of struggling. And so she's like, I'll get you a hotel room.
Remember when I did that?
That part I just added because I just remembered it. Wait, we have to tell you guys because it literally just popped into my head. Okay, so when we're on Chelsea lately, ways of DMing and tweeting people is still relatively new. And none of us could believe that we had any fans.
No.
There was a woman named Heather Lately that loved us all.
Oh,
her
right.
name happened to be Heather,
yes.
no relation to me.
Yes.
No relation to Chelsea. But she called herself Heather Lately, and she was a fan of all of ours. And she, we played the Soup or something baseball one night. We did a baseball, we did a baseball game against another show or something. And she showed up, and everybody's like, all right, you guys, who's inviting Heather Lately? And we're like, none of us are. We're like, how the fuck did she know at the baseball game? So anyway, Sarah is extremely nice and generous. Why don't you tell the story of what happened? Because then we did make it a storyline in After Lately, which was a Curb Your Enthusiasm semi-scripted show. Which, by the way, apparently you can watch on Apple or something.
Oh,
people are watching
where's
it.
our residuals?
Oh, there's no residuals. We'll get into the writer's strike in a minute. Okay, go on.
This girl named Britney, who still follows me, probably listens to this. Lovely girl. She was I think she was 18 at the time. But she was coming She was driving far, I think to Nashville or somewhere like that. But it was like
To see you do stand up?
to see me do stand up.
Okay.
Yes. And she messaged me and she was like, what hotel are you staying in? Because we want to stay somewhere safe. But obviously we were staying in like a nice hotel because the show was paying for it or whatever.
I think it was Comedians of Chelsea lately,
a
where like 4 of us would go do a show.
Yeah, and we get
Okay.
like a nice hotel.
Yes.
Well, so I couldn't afford that, and then so she was going to stay in some god awful roadside motel, and I was like, I booked you a room at like whatever, a Marriott by the venue. You and your friend can stay there. It's not the same hotel I'm staying in, whatever. And she was like, oh my God, that's so kind of you. And I was like, whatever. I couldn't imagine this like 18-year-old girl sleeping in a Motel 6. Like, I felt responsible because she was driving a long way. Well,
but I do kind of remember we're hearing about it. I remember like in real life, not in the After Lady show. In real life, we're hearing about it. And then I'm like, I was like, okay, I know like Sarah's like nicer than
not
I
a parent.
am. And also like nicer than me and like more generous than I am. But like, what the hell? And then we're like, and so then we started to kind of like come up with these scenarios, which then Brad's writing them down for the scripted show of like, what if someone accuses you of being a groomer, which is what it didn't happen in real life.
No, but her mom called. I had to talk to
Okay, so
her
what
mom.
happened?
So she's like, my mom wants to talk to you because she thinks that like you're a creepy man who got me a hotel room and are faking to be.
So when you talked to her on the phone, did she think you had a man voice?
She still wasn't sure. I was like, I swear to God, I'm a woman. You can listen to Chelsea lately. This is the same voice. Her mom ended up being very kind, and she was like, okay, like, I can't believe you did this. It's very sweet. And then the end, which we also put in the show.
Also, good mom.
Oh, yeah.
Every mom should do that.
Every mom should do it. And every comedian should not do what I did. Like, just lesson fucking learned. Like, don't be nice.
Unless you're a chuckle fucker and you're trying to meet a comedian who wants to buy you a room, just know what you're getting yourself into.
I remember the time thinking, like, you know what? I'm doing well for myself right now. This girl's driving her and her friend were coming all the way to see us. Least they could do was just give them like, it was like it wasn't like I put them up at the Ritz and I was standing there in a robe when they arrived. You know what I mean? It was completely separate. Anyway. It worked out. Her mom talked to me, and then her mom. We were laughing. She was like, "Okay, you're just like a nice person. We're good to go. It's fine." And then Britney tried to bring me a cookie cake backstage, and remember we put this in the episode. To thank me, she brought me a cookie cake, and I never fucking got it because security basically did what her mom did and thought that we were getting some kind of arsenic cookie cake and tossed it. And after all I went through, I never got that cookie cake. And I was so mad.
Fortunately, I never have anybody toss any gifts. And I do get homemade food, and I 100% eat it every time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not really worried about it.
No.
If,
whatever. If this is the end, let it be from a crazed fan that wanted to feed me.
With a nice full belly.
Yeah. Oh my God. So anyway, her shows did get canceled.
To clarify, I am not a groomer, but she seems.
And there's a lot of stories. There's a lot of stories. I've gone over them, but the latest is.
What exactly can you, you probably already talked about it.
She would have fans and she would talk to them, and she did a lot of sexual stuff. An ongoing theme of her comedy, which was absolutely geared towards kids, whether she wants to say it or not. She has to know when she looks out when 90% of the audience are 12-year-olds.
Well, yeah,
because she plays like this character like that. Hello, I like to sing, and went like a little off, and then she would like sing badly. So every performance is just her singing badly.
And I remember,
but to a 12-year-old, that's funny, I guess. And so. But in it, she would do this thing where a storyline that she'd constantly bring up is that she's clearly being molested by her uncle. Oh. But it would be in the comedic sense of like, I'm such a dumb girl and have no self-awareness. I don't realize that I shouldn't be going and having my uncle let me get on his back and on all fours and go around the room. Now, other people were saying, as a woman in your late 20s and 30s, when you started to do this, you shouldn't put this out there because the kids aren't getting the joke, but they might unfortunately feel that this is a normal behavior and therefore be groomed by a predator in their life. So Like,
careful
if
what
this-
your
like-
audience, know who
like
your
if
audience
this is the
is.
joke, it should be extremely adult, R-rated, like clearly whatever. If anybody, but in her defense, she's like, I'm not a groomer, I'm just a loser. So then she wrote this ukulele song that everybody, including my kids and my niece, are like, don't you know that's the worst apology? It's been deemed the worst apology, public apology that has ever been made.
She said, I'm not a groomer.
She
I'm
wrote
just
a
loser."
ukulele. She's like, so I'll do some things that's happening right now. My people told me not to respond, but I'm going to, so I'm going to write a song about it. And then she like put it on Apple Music and everything. And it's like the worst apology. And it was just like,
That I can't wait to listen to, by
I'm
the
not
way.
a groomer. I'm just a loser. Because basically, like, I shouldn't have been talking to my fans. I'm such a loser. I have no other real friends. So I talked to my fans. And some of those fans were a young boy where she was like, what sexual positions do you like? Are you a virgin? And sent him a bra and underwear. And another one was a gay boy who
She's
she like
sending them-
trauma
she
dumped
sent-
on about her divorce.
She sent them. She sent a young boy photos of her in her underwear.
No, sent underwear and bras and sent photos of Trisha Paytas' naked body to her fans.
Oh,
So Trisha's dumped her. They're
right.
no longer friends.
Well, yeah. Well, and you think I remember when she first came out, like, or got big.
Yeah.
Don't you remember that it was that time when YouTube started taking
Yeah.
over comedy clubs, but it
Yes.
would be afternoon shows because it was all kids.
Oh, no,
So
I
it
didn't
was-
know they were doing
Yeah,
afternoon.
unless I'm mixing her. But
So then she'd bring kids up on stage and she'd be like, have like a 10-year-old boy there. And she'd be like, you need to get a cheese ball out of my pants. And then they'd show the boy like going in her like trousers and looking for a cheese ball.
Are the parents the ones
parents
taking?
bought him. So if the parents aren't doing anything, they're not calling to make sure that Sarah Colonna is an actual female. They're there. Woo!
Get the cheese ball out of her pants.
Yeah. And so then
Oh,
someone brought
boy.
up the fact, and I talked about it. They go, remember when Madonna had her tour and her main dancer was a 13-year-old boy dressed up like Michael Jackson with a hat and this? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
And it was like, don't you? And they would like, she was in the videos and everything. And so I watched it. And at the end, she would dip him and he would shake his leg like he's having an orgasm. And then he'd come up and they would kiss. And he went on a world tour with her doing that at 13 years old.
And where is he
And-
now?
Apparently, probably we're going to see a documentary in about 1 month. Like another documentary where we see the person going like this,
Oh,
sitting in their chair. Why does every doc have to start? I've done it to docs, and they're like, we're going to get you walking in the chair. I'm like, come on.
yeah. Where
Like,
everyone,
okay, we're going to do this.
Yeah. Everyone already
Yeah,
knows I'm going to
yeah.
be in a chair. We don't have to.
I just saw a preview for like the supermodels with like, Cindy Crawford and everything. And it got sent to me by Juicy Scooper, who sends me lots of good topics. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of old and I'm overseeing Netflix documentaries about pop culture that I've already lived through. Like if I have to see another documentary that's like, so there were these things called malls
Oh.
where you could actually go and touch the product with your hand because they're like thinking that a Gen Z is going to watch this Netflix doc and not understand what a mall was or how to use a rotary phone.
Right.
I'm like, I don't need to see a doc on that.
No.
I don't need to see a doc on that.
There's a show coming out about that too, like things that were discontinued or something that I saw, and it's like all that stuff.
I don't need to
Blockbuster.
see the doc. I don't need to see the Beanie Baby
Yeah,
doc.
we lived through it.
I don't need to see it.
No, I guess they think that maybe the younger kids will understand us better if they understand that we used to go to malls.
Wait till the Chelsea Lately doc comes out. I'll be right there. I'm like, yeah, I'll be there in an hour.
And then yeah,
Hi,
You'll
going to
sit
talk
right-
about this. Woo! The year was 2007. And yeah, we did really awful, inappropriate things, and we should have been canceled as well.
And
Yeah.
Sarah Colonna was almost a groomer without even knowing it when she was really just trying to be nice. Oh, boy.
Anyway, well, good luck to her. Follow up on Kyle Richards. So Kyle Richards, they made an announcement. People said they're separated. She and Mauricio said, no, we're not. For months, she was spending all this time with this girl named Morgan Wade, who I don't know if she's an out lesbian, but she's had a serious girlfriend in the past. She's tattooed from the neck down. And they have started, they've done Amazon Lives together called Country Chic. So they're like kind of in business together, but they also have matching tattoos. And so a lot of people were like,
Yeah.
is there some lickety splits happening here?
Right.
Because she likes to do the splits and lickety splits.
Lickety split.
So I don't know if
I
there's
saw this on the Juicy
right.
Scoop page.
So
Like people
yes.
curious.
So she says
They're just friends.
like respect my privacy, but she goes out to Craig. She goes out hanging out with her, like all this stuff. Meanwhile, according to TMZ exclusive, Real Houses of Beverly Hills cameras, ladies back into action shooting pickup scenes after Kyle and Mauricio split, which is what they did in the Scandival thing. They had already ended the season. Everyone was picking out their outfits for the reunion. The scandal broke about Tom being with Raquel, Ariana finding out, and they brought the cameras back within 24 hours. And so I think it's a smart thing. I want to see this. I'm not saying this is going to be as big, and I don't want it to be. I've said it before. I want them to stay married,
Yeah.
like till they're 95. But
And it could just be that this girl is just her. I mean, it's her friend. Just because.
well, she just dropped it conveniently. Her song just dropped, or her album just dropped yesterday. Morgan Wade, which
Okay.
nobody in the Juicy Scoop world had heard of before.
Oh.
So, and she talks like this. She talks like a Dolly Parton kind of type, and it's
I like that
absolutely kind of
voice.
shocking because you see her face, and she's got all the tattoos, and she's like, "Hi, Kyle, what are we selling on Country Chic Amazon Live today?" It's just like a very strange voice, but apparently people like her music. Again, go be successful.
And maybe they just like maybe they are just like business wise. They're like, we're such an odd match. This is gonna blow up. This is gonna be this and that. And there's no, as you say,
lickety splits going on. And if there is, good for them. Who cares?
Yeah. Except,
cares?
Except you want them
cares?
to stay married, you said. So.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg when it comes to Bravo PR? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
So it could be.
It's like, let's make the lemonade out of the lemons.
Yeah.
This is happening. Let's savor every moment. Because one of the things that happened in the Vanderpump world when a bunch of them got canceled in the summer of 2020, when all this social justice stuff was happening, I'm not even getting into it, but a couple of them got in trouble for what they've said and done on things. And four of them got fired. We were all like, why aren't they having cameras? Like, even though they're firing them, is there any way? But I just think people were just so scared. They didn't know what to do. Now I think they know when something's happening, a divorce, a cancellation, a something, get the cameras up. We have to watch you, fold your clothes before a girls' trip. Can we see this fucking juicy shit?
Yeah, let us see that. Yeah, you're
so I
putting
think
your life on TV, so let us see it all.
Yeah, and then let your girlfriend or very good friend sell some country music.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
I'm going to download the album just based on your impression alone.
Jill Zarin, this was from 2020. She had said, I worry about Kyle because even in her marriage, when she was on the show, later on she was off the show and Bobby then unfortunately passed. But she said, even in my marriage that was strong, after so many years, the marriage does get shaky when you're filming the show all the time. And then, Kyle was like, oh, thanks, Jill, for caring, but we're great. And then 2 years later.
Do you think you and Peter would survive your marriage being filmed all the time?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
So are you saying you would turn one down because of that? Or are you saying
Yeah,
you would
100%.
Yeah.
If they were ever asked me to be on any kind of reality show, it has to be he can show up at a dinner where there's some nice wine and
he's not mic'd.
and he doesn't have to go to the bathroom at your house. Yes. Then I am fine with it. But no, I just think it's what we're going to watch is every moment. Now they're going to have us dissecting every moment. And women love to dissect other people's relationships. We love it. It's what we like to do.
Yeah.
Men like to dissect a football play and why I wouldn't have done that and I would have done this and da-da-da-da. And we like to dissect other people's marriages and relationships to make ourselves feel better about our own shitty one.
And then... But when you put it on the air, because I always wondered that too. I remember someone at one point, no one's approached us obviously, but someone saying like, oh, you guys should do a reality show. It's a comedian and a football player. And I was like, nope, I don't ever want that I don't want my inner life like dissected that way, the way I
mean,
dissect
look at
other
the-
people's.
And look at the newlyweds, and the only way they're good is if you really do forget the cameras are there. And if you forget the cameras are there, they're gonna catch times where either one of you is not being too great to the other. And then
Yeah.
everyone chimes in, especially now with like dump him, divorce him, whatever, dump her, you're a bitch. And it's just like a lot, and it's hard to tell yourself, oh, it's only 5 people out of 100,000. It still hurts people. And it makes, and then,
Right.
and especially a man that never had to deal with that wasn't his career. And now everybody's saying like things to him or about him. And his looks and everything, when he walked around this earth up until his wife got hired as a housewife, feeling pretty fucking good about himself.
Right.
And now every 50-year-old bitch from Oklahoma is like, get a chin implant, dick. And then you're like, what? And then you read that at 4 a.m. and you take it out on your wife. Would you like some coffee, dear? And he's like, you and your fucking narcissistic housewife friends. And you're like, what's happening? And then a year later, you're divorced.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Good luck out there, everybody. That was a good analogy.
But if you want to invite me on like a Traders or a Dancing with the Stars or something where it's just me doing something, then yes. What would really be good, hello. Ultimate Girls Trip Comedian Edition.
Oh, yeah.
And we get a bunch of other female comedians. Now, you and I would be like an alliance because we know each other.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know Sarah Silverman that well.
No.
She could come on. I don't know. I've never met Amy Schumer. Tiffany Haddish, we know. But not like, and then we go on a girls trip like that.
That
or
could be
even
good.
whoever. It's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Why are you giving it to the world when you could just be pitching this to Bravo or something?
All right. Well, I'm going to pitch to Bravo. Should we even put this out into the universe? Maybe Marca.
It's gonna get stolen.
I mean, God, that would be so
There's a
fucking
writer's
fun.
strike. People don't have. They need all reality content right now. Someone's gonna steal
Wait, I
this.
do want to say something great about Sarah, that she is doing something great for us people. Peter brought this up to me, so I don't have all the notes, but she is suing this AI company that put her latest book, Bedwetter, into the system. And by doing that, you can say, write me a Sarah Silverman joke. And they have her cadence from the book.
Oh, see, okay.
And so she's suing, and I'm like, good. I hope you win, and I hope that you.
I don't understand how that's legal. I don't understand how. I mean, I know that's a lot of
Well,
what we're
that's
fighting for with
but
the
that's why
unions
these
right now.
lawsuits have to happen, because
Yeah.
the courts can't keep up with the technology. So what you need to do is you need to be that first
I
person
mean,
or
it's
whatever.
your intellectual property. Like,
Yeah.
they shouldn't be able. Is that the right word?
But
But
yeah,
they shouldn't be able to do that. But it's funny because I did try AI. I was so curious. I went to that.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't really
Yeah.
understand it. It's way above my fucking pay grade and my
Yeah.
brain grade
Yeah.
and anything else. But I was like, I'm so curious if I say. So obviously they haven't either fed anything into there, or they fed like my first bad set ever or something that they got
Okay.
from the Ice House in 1998. Because I was like, write me jokes about relationships in Sarah Colonna's voice. And I
Okay.
mean, it might as well have been like, boy, are my arms tired, I just flew in, like that kind of shit. It was the lamest. And then I went, well, I'm not worried about AI right now.
Okay, I had somebody. I was with Ross and his husband, and they asked it. They knew how to do it, so they asked, write me Heather talking about Jennifer Lopez, Heather McDonald writing about Jennifer, and it was totally not my voice. It was like,
Okay.
wow, guys, it was written out, but it was like, wow, do I have a story for you? Like, it was just like, I've got the tea on this. They didn't even use my terms. So I'm like, I don't think I'm at the level where someone has done it, because I'm like, I do think possibly if you put in all 800 episodes of Juicy Scoop. That's what my question is. If you put in all 800 episodes of Juicy Scoop into whatever, and then
800, girl.
and thank you, and then a scandal happened. J-Lo and Ben
Right.
get divorced. Could they figure out how And I think that would be hard because it would be like you'd have to figure out my point of view on it. And I don't even know how I'd feel if I heard J-Lo and Brian got divorced.
Right.
I don't even know what I'd say right now if that story came out.
I'd probably
Not
just
that
be like,
wanted
glad
to.
I don't have to see any photos of them anymore.
Playing
It's
pickleball, looking angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that would be, and mine would be, and I would probably go deeper in it. Like, oh my God, she must be so humiliated. She probably tried to make it last longer than it could because she didn't want to have the Kim Kardashian stigma of 73 days and blah blah. Like that's where I would go with it, you know. And so, well, maybe I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's very interesting, the whole thing, and so I think that it is scary. And wait, you were going to talk about what were you going to say? Go ahead.
I do remember one of the jokes that 'cause
that
I
they
said about
said for you?
relationship. It was something like marriage is just waiting for the other one to die.
And is that one of your jokes?
No,
Okay.
but I was like, that's. I mean, it's
That-
like,
you know what
that
that
feels
is?
like the first marriage joke ever written in like the 40s or something.
And also of a
Like,
woman that never got married. So they're probably like, oh, most female comics are not married, so that would work.
right.
I also saw this other guy go, okay, you guys, the writer's strike is going on, writer's strike. So I did write me a romantic comedy. And then he goes, this is the script. And he acted it out on either part. And it was awful. But it really did seem a lot like Emily in Paris. And people were like, is Emily in Paris written by because it was like, hey, you know, I got this job offer. And then the other person's like, you did? Well, what if I went with you to Paris? Because he was like, write me a romantic comedy, like whatever. So, first thing I will say, Vanderpump, as you know, they're filming again, and they did get their first Emmy nomination.
Oh.
Yeah, for it's like
Best.
unscripted something category, as it should. I mean, that's a very talked about show. They should.
Yes.
So they're going to the Emmys. And so when this news came out, I happened to be talking to Lala on the phone, and she goes, oh my God, I just have to tell you we got nominated for an Emmy. I go, okay, this is where I need to talk to you about something serious. And I go, because I'm really excited for you to go and what look you're going to do.
Yeah.
First thing I need you to do is type in your Google, because she's a young girl, Kate Hudson at the Oscars. Do you remember her horrific look?
No.
And I said, and she goes, oh, okay, I see what you mean. I go, so you're doing your hair long and gorgeous.
Yeah.
We're doing a fabulous dress. You're not going to wear a bathing suit with a sheer thing over it. Not that she would.
No.
And I go, you know, but like, just know this may be one of 20 times you go to the Emmys. It might be the only one.
Yeah.
So
wanna
like
rock
you
that
want
carpet.
to, and you want to look back at 10 years ago, and 10 years later, and go, I love my hair. Julia Roberts, when she won her Oscar, do you remember her fucking weird hairdo? She took that gorgeous hair like yours
Yeah.
and added all these like weird 1960s falls and like, why?
Yeah.
You have a gorgeous face, gorgeous hair. Look,
And are kind of like known for your hair.
That's
like
what I'm
she's known
saying.
for it. Just like me.
yes,
known for it.
totally. But Kate Hudson got nominated for I'm with the Band or whatever that. It was the one where she was the girlfriend of
Right.
like. It was a really good movie.
It was
it's
great.
It's a great movie.
Can't think of the
and
name
it
of
was
it right
like
now. It saved
she
my
was
life.
just. It was like one of her first films. She was nominated for an Oscar, as a nepo baby does.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It was a good movie.
She wore this like light pink thing, awful color. It had like a beaded shoulder pad. It was up to the neck. She had the rockin' body, and this is what she chooses to wear. She had a weird hairdo.
And she's probably like, what was I thinking? Because she's pretty fashionable.
She didn't have.
Yeah.
She didn't have a friend. just like
Warning her.
Just like Kyle and Morgan Wade, 20-some years apart. I'm 20 years older than Lala, but I'm not trying to go lickety splits on her. I'm trying to tell her, wear a fabulous color, figure flattering. Let's do your best hair.
Yeah.
Let's not regret this
Let's
shit.
do sleek and sophisticated
and like just sexy bombshell, but
Yeah.
classy.
do they all go to the Emmys? So we'll
Oh my God, I'm just assuming she's going. If she and the girls don't get to go, why would I watch the Emmys?
no, but I'm just saying, do they all get to go? Like, because then will Tom and Ariana both be there?
Oh yeah, well they're starting to film now. That's not a secret. So I think they're starting to have to see each. I don't know if they've seen each other. But
Right.
meanwhile, Ariana
And then does
is.
he go to the Emmys with Raquel as his date?
Yeah. How do they choose how many people get to go?
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be the main players, and that's
Yeah.
them, right?
Yeah, I would hope.
Yeah.
And then Ariana is doing Dancing with the Stars.
Right.
And then they also said she's doing Love Island or something, or Fuck Boy Island or Love Boy Island. I don't know. One of those island shows.
hosting it.
Well, that's what I didn't realize because I'm like, she has this boyfriend that's cooking for her all the time and everything. And everyone's so happy she's got this personal trainer boyfriend that also cooks for her and, does everything else for her, I hope. And and
Does lickety splits on her.
does lickety splits on her, hopefully, finally.
Your poor son in the corner
Yeah.
every time we say that.
But no, it's like she's doing like kind of what I did on The Bachelorette. Like she's doing like facilitating a date or something.
Okay.
So she's doing like a guest host situation on the show because
Got
I
it.
thought she was like either one of the people or whatever.
Right.
Because I was like, how is she doing all these shows and being on Vanderpump and making sandwiches? Like this
Right.
is a lot for this girl
It's
to
a
do.
lot.
She's working the window at Cane's. She's selling batteries. She's selling Bic razors. But also, I'm like, you got to make your money while you make it, girl.
Yeah.
So she's, if every girl could break up and get 12 jobs, that would be wonderful.
I know.
The Abbey is up for sale.
Oh.
The Abbey's up for sale, along with the one next to it, which is owned the Cathedral. And
Do you remember the little Abbey controversy that I'll probably screw
tell
up?
me, what is it?
Well, I'll probably screw it up, and Justin Martindale would be better at recapping this.
Okay.
So for
He's in charge of Juicy Scoop gay
He's in
history.
charge of Juicy Scoop gay bar history.
Okay.
No, but I remember him posting some stuff about it. So
Yeah.
whatever I get wrong, whatever. I'm not here as a as a news source. I'm
Okay.
just giving you a lot. But there was there were several people who posted that they were pretty certain, allegedly, that they got roofied by the bartender,
That's right.
and then their credit cards, their purses, and whatnot would get stolen. So didn't seem like it was a sexual thing. It seemed like they were basically
Right.
getting them out of sorts so they could steal their shit.
Because, the Abbey has been around for a really long time.
It's
And
fun.
it's since 1991 by David Cooley, and it's really fun. And gay guys go, straight guys work there, gay guys, bring their straight girlfriends.
Yeah.
It is like, it's a gay bar, but it is really fun. And it's right in that area of where you would go to Pump or Sir or whatever and hit it. But it started at a coffee shop before transforming into the restaurant and nightclub. But it's interesting because this comes after it's been known that Lisa Vanderpump has closed Pump.
Oh.
So, and he says the listing refers to it as a generational purchase opportunity to acquire one of the world's most iconic nightclubs and restaurants. They're hoping that it'll align with the city's, historic Boys Town and create a world-renowned gay establishment. So they're hoping it's gay, but it doesn't have to be a gay place, but they're hoping that it'll be passed on to.
But does he say, is he just done getting out of it? Is that why?
It didn't say, this was just all about the listing. It didn't really say why. But, I've met him. He's really nice. He might be the same as Lisa Vanderpump. It just financially doesn't make sense anymore. Or he
Right.
doesn't want to deal with it. And
had his run, and
he
he's
had
like,
his
I'm
run,
outta
and
here.
he's like,
Yeah.
let somebody else, run this and make it their way or whatever. And
Yeah.
the rents and all that. And also the minimum wage is the highest in the country.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, hopefully I didn't get any of my story wrong.
Speaking of the Abbey, the Secret Service is going to conduct a DNA and fingerprint analysis on the dime-sized cocaine baggie found in the White House. I'm just dying to know. This is just I didn't know it was a baggie. I thought there was it was all left on a table,
Right.
And that's why they thought it might have been
No,
anthrax or
someone
something.
dropped a little baggie of it.
Oh,
I
out of
think
their pants or
I think.
something.
Yeah, or their dress. I mean, who knows? We
Yeah.
don't know who it belonged to.
No, we don't know who it belonged to.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me for almost any politician, other than I don't think Joe Biden's doing cocaine, and I don't think it
Why?
we've had
Because
any-
they're like Sleepy Joe or Jittery Joe.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
But it wouldn't surprise me for some sort of, and I know the rumors and they Hunter and all whatever.
Well, sure,
But,
but I don't. Then they say he wasn't there. and
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
nobody
Yeah.
knows. But it would not surprise me for some junior White House staff person
Totally.
to be doing blow to keep himself going
Right.
in D.C. at all. I'm not saying
Right.
he or she should be. I'm just saying that's not that surprising. Dumb move to bring it into the White House. Dumb move to maybe not have either a tighter pocket on your pants or your purse
Yeah.
strings tightened up a little more so it doesn't fall out. But obviously, if they want to find out who did, but would anybody be surprised that? Like,
but in the story, they're like, it's going to be very hard to find out. It's going to take a very long time. They're just going to want this story to go away. We're
Yes.
never going to know.
No.
Whether it's a 22-year-old intern or, Sleepy Joe. We're never going to know. They're never going to tell us.
What if it's Jill Biden?
Jill?
It's just like completely opposite her
Yeah.
entire personality.
Yeah.
It turns out she just loves to do some rails sometimes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No.
But yeah.
Yeah.
We'll never find out.
We'll never find out. Meanwhile, Dave Portnoy of Barstool, he's become even douchier than we thought.
Yeah.
He's just chiming in like a Michael Rappaport, trying to just hone in on my section here of talking about girls, like life. So he's like, I don't want Tom Brady to date Kim Kardashian. She got famous by having sex on the camera. Stay away, man. And then Sonia, who was doing this crappy lake show with Luann, she says, oh, I would like Dave to come and, meet me at a motel or something. They're just going back and forth. And then he says, he goes, let me see. He said, with all due respect, gross. That's what he responds to poor Sonia.
That's not nice.
She said, because she originally said, awesome. Does that mean Dave will take me to a motel? After talking about responding to his Kim Kardashian rant. And then a lot of people like, Dave, I love you, but don't you dare disrespect Sonia Morgan like that. Don't touch this. Don't touch the Morgan letters. No, anyway, who cares? That's a stupid story.
Also, what does with all due respect gross mean?
I know, that's so
like,
mean.
There is no there's no respect.
Oh,
you're
why?
just being mean.
Yeah,
just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks not everyone thinks
Okay,
he's
now
a
this
prize.
is kind of disturbing in the plastic surgery world.
Okay.
So, trigger warning.
Okay.
This is She by Sheree. Her name's
Okay.
Sheree. She has a line of clothes, She by Sheree. I've always thought she was so pretty, has a beautiful face. This is her on the right, the way she's looked to us forever.
Yeah.
And then this is just now.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
So she either filled in her nose or got a nose job and then filled in all under her eyes, which changed the shape of her eyes, filled in all around her face. She kind of had an angular face that I thought was really gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then you go and you get filled in, and now you look like not everybody else. You look like everybody else, but you don't look like yourself.
And there's not a chance this is just like a filter, right? Because this is
No,
on
a lot of
actual
people
TV.
are like, "What the hell is going on?" They're like, "What the hell did she do?"
Because I feel that obviously do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. But my suggestion is have a no person. Have a doctor that is a no person. Have someone that says, we don't need to do anymore. We don't need to do anymore. We did just a little touch. Start small. You know what I mean? You need to have someone looking out for your best interest when it comes to your face because it's your face.
And I also want to say there might be something that you don't like about your face, but in this day and age, having an original face is like having the original Mona Lisa.
Right.
Like now you need to hang on to it. Now you need, 2 years ago you might have been like, oh, I wish I would have done that. No, you have a different nose. Keep it. Keep it. I mean, listen, I get Botox. I go to Dr. Kasabian, Lift MD, Beverly Hills. I love it. I get it, the Botox, and I don't do filler, but I'm not saying I would never. I think you have to be careful. But I mean, this is just like a bummer because
well, I told you I did filler.
I just love her look, and I'm sad that it's not her look anymore.
I told you I did filler in my lip.
Yes.
You can't. I mean,
it looks good though.
Right. You can't tell
because you went subtle.
Yes, and then I said to him, "Ooh, I like it. Can I do more?" And he said, "I'm not gonna." He's like, "I'm not doing more on you. I would prefer not to. I mean, I'll do it if you insist."
So this was not She by Sheree.
Yeah.
Doctor.
No. Eric Lovato in Studio City Dermatology is wonderful, but he was just like, "You're not gonna be happy. You just wanted." I had. Oh, I guess I had the opposite of DSL. I had. DLS, disappearing lip syndrome, instead of sucking lips. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I got like a little tiny.
He gave you more of a full top lip.
Just so it came. Yeah, and I like it.
Yeah.
But I would like to. I'd probably go all in on just looking nuts. But
The unfortunate thing that happens with housewives is they like a freebie. And oftentimes these places, whether they're a nurse practitioner or a doctor, whoever, offer them a freebie for exchange for them sharing their face.
Yeah. I always say don't do Groupon Botox or fillers.
Be very careful.
Yeah,
Be very careful.
This is the shit you want to pay full price for.
I agree. Let me fill you in on the latest on our divorce here with you-know-who. This is Kevin Costner. So Kevin Costner and his wife, they have 3 kids, married 18 years. She wanted $248 a month for child support.
$248?
$248,000. He said, hell no, because $100 of that, I believe, she's spending on plastic surgery. She's not using a Groupon to get her face filled, according to him. He goes, I offer you $51,000. She's like, are you kidding me? How do you expect me to live off of that? For now, it's a temporary judgment. The judge said, we'll meet you in the middle. They went back and forth. $248, $51. They end up at $129 a month. And but according to the docs, Kevin and Christine will each have to be on the hook for 50% of their kids' health care expenses, plus extracurricular activities and private school tuition. And then Kevin's also being ordered in advance to spend $200K on her attorney's fees and another $100K for forensic costs.
What's forensic costs?
Like to go through her attorney must have billed $100,000 worth of like going through all his finances to prove that he should be paying $248. And anyway, the judge said, I think $129 should do it. She also challenged the prenup of where it said if they ever broke up, she'd have to get out of the marital home. And she lost that battle. So
yeah,
she
that's
will
what the
have
prenup
to
is for.
She will have to move from the home. And she might owe him for the cost of her fighting that. She might owe those attorney's fees.
Yeah, because if it's in the prenup, that's what the whole point is. Because I was just about to say, don't they have a prenup? But I guess that doesn't include, prenups don't include child support.
Well, the thing about the prenup for someone like this is she wants to make as much as she can from the child support because the kids are teenagers. So she's got a limited time on making that. And then the prenup probably covered like a lump sum of how much you get per year. So once she gets her settlement as the ex-wife, the alimony, depending on the prenup, may not last because anything past 10 years, you're supposed to get alimony in California for the rest of your life until you marry someone else.
Right.
And so she's never going to find a richer Kevin Costner probably that she would bother to marry. So I'm assuming that prenup also doesn't include a lifelong of alimony.
He's got to be worth a lot of money.
He's worth like, I can't remember how. I mean,
hundreds of
Oh,
millions.
no, it's hundreds of millions. It's hundreds of millions.
But I can't, I guess I don't really know how that works. But if 18 years is a long time. And
I want to say it's worth $600 million is what I read. That makes sense. Because he's got this house is worth like $100 million in Carpinteria, Santa Barbara area. The other one is worth who knows how much in Aspen. That one's huge.
Right.
So,
wow.
it's a lot.
18 years is a long time, though. So it's
I don't know why she couldn't make it work with him. I think he just got crotchety. But other people think he had an affair with someone on Yellowstone.
With who? Did they have a rumor of who?
No.
No. Oh.
Nobody knows. It's just a rumor. Meanwhile, Armie Hammer, who was, accused of wanting to eat his girlfriend's rib and barbecue it, and put a nice truffle sauce on it. By the way, I just got a bunch of stuff from Truff. Do you like truffle stuff?
I do.
Oh my God, Truff sauces, ridiculous. TRUFF.
Bunch of truffle sauces.
Oh, like this arrabbiata spaghetti sauce is to die. We have the spicy mayo truff, black truffle mayo. We have the truffle salt. Just go off. Anyway.
I'd like to try some if they're listening.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to send this clip to them. Okay. Elizabeth Chambers is only getting $1,500 per month child support. But he doesn't have any movies.
Right.
And when all this stuff was coming out, she was all about it being exposed of how weird he was once he was cheating on her and once they were separated. So He doesn't have an income. And if you don't have an income, they said he was selling timeshares in the Bahamas. There was
Right.
videos of him doing that. So this is all you're getting.
I mean, he's loaded from his family, I think, but I don't think that comes into play, right?
What people don't realize, listen, everybody. You might get real excited when your child comes to you and says, oh, I'm getting married, Mom. I'm marrying into the Rothschild family or whatever. And oh my God, my child's set for life. Oh, yes, they have it. Listen, if they move into a home with that spouse who comes from generational wealth and that home is in the trust, when they divorce 10 years later or whatever, your daughter or son is not going to get half of that house.
Right.
They didn't buy it together.
Right.
It was in the trust. So when you marry incredible wealth, whether it's Armie Hammer or whatever, it's not like you're going to get half of what you have since you married them.
Yeah, we also don't even know if his family, I mean, they might have been like, we had to boot you out of any sort of trust or
The dad just died.
Okay.
His dad just died.
Do we know if he got anything?
Yeah, I don't know. But even if he did, inheritance, you do not need to share your inheritance
Do we know if
with your spouse or your ex.
Do we know if Armie Hammer not on a rib or anything after his death?
He has said that was all in just sex talk.
Right.
I
That he
never
wouldn't really
planned
wanna do
on
it. Yeah.
getting my girlfriend a rib operation and, going to the
It's
wood
just
ranch.
his weird sex talk.
Right.
Yeah.
But there were a
Very-
lot of other weird things that I've covered a lot, and you can watch those things. Okay, writer's strike, their now deadline is saying they believe from a good source that the plan is to unfortunately let the writers go so broke that they go to the Writers Guild and just go, settle, just settle. You have to settle. And they don't think it's going to happen till October. I heard that there was something like going to happen a couple weeks ago and it never did.
Right. Well, one thing that I read, like long threads on this, were that they are kind of always say this. And I read John Cryer. I follow him because he's pretty vocal about this stuff. And he was basically saying it sounds like bluster, like they want writers to hear that, start panicking before then, settle so they can start getting shit going again. That it's actual, like they don't want it to go to October and whatnot and have nothing to put out there. I mean, some streaming services have stuff so much backed up probably to release, so they're not being hurt yet. But
I think the problem is that the person at home in their living room is not getting hurt by the strike the way they have in the last 30 years.
Right.
When there was a strike, people would be like, I miss my shows. I miss this. Oh my God, this sucks. There's nothing to watch. And unfortunately, we're never out of things to watch.
Right. Well, the
so
only
it's like,
ones,
I think we're not feeling it as someone thirsty for entertainment.
Yeah, I think the only ones that are actually going to feel it are like people who still, network television in the fall when new shows would be coming back on, but they're not going to be.
Right.
It's going to be all reality until whatever. But
so
hopefully that doesn't happen.
I just have to read this to you. Okay, so this is Tokyo Tani. Okay, Tokyo Tony is Black China's mother. She is a grandmother to Dream Kardashian, Rob, and Black China's child. And she put out an Instagram while she was babysitting Dream, who's about 6. She thinks she's real funny, this Tokyo Tony. And they're talking to Alexa.
And that's Black China's daughter.
Yes.
Yes.
And so the grandma and the daughter, Kris Jenner's granddaughter. This is the other grandmother. There's Kris Jenner, and then there's this woman. And they're playing with the Google Alexa device when Tony began flipping out over the AI voice and not shutting it off. When Alexa then began to inform her listeners that she enjoys curling up to bed with a good book and a warm coffee, Tony responds, and a nice hot dildo and a bucket of comb. And the little girl goes, it doesn't work that way. And then she keeps going. Then she goes, Alexa, get the fuck on. I'm telling you, bitch, you better move on. And the little girl's there. And Tokyo Tony says, Alexa, I'm going to punch you in your fucking jaw. Get out of here. Scram. And the little girl's like, but you don't have to talk to Alexa like that. It is honestly like a kind of a hilarious video. I mean, it's awful that this little girl was like with this awful grandmother. But then, anyway, China has not responded. She recently found God. She removed the filler from her face. And Anyway.
But Tokyo Tony put it on TikTok,
Yeah,
right?
she was
So
putting it out there.
Yeah.
She thought it was funny. She thought it was funny to yell at poor Alexa, who's like, "Oh, what do you like to do?" And then finally she said, "Get the fuck, move on. I don't want to talk to you." And then the Alexa goes, "Okay, well, I enjoyed our conversation." And she
That is funny. Well, I think it's the opposite, right? I remember how people really like to go viral at the beginning with their kids saying a bad word out of nowhere.
Now
and
it's
they-
just grandma saying
Yeah, and now grandma's just like, bucket of cum, dildo, fuck you. Okay, happy Grandma Day.
Oh my God. Meanwhile, Kim Kardashian, I said on Tuesday's show, I predict she's going to come out with an alcohol that might compete with 818. Because she said I did 11 shots at this white party in the Hamptons. And I'm like, watch, even though she always was like really a non-drinker, now she's going to have a drink. But she came out with this drink. Someone said Kim K does have a beverage at Target. It's called
Kim-Aid.
Kim-Aid, and it's artificially, no, it says naturally and artificially flavored. Okay, it's not all natural,
Right?
Everything,
Yeah, it's both.
And so she did a post about it, and so Page 6 featured a tweet that someone said that said now you know Kourtney is going to have a hissy about this one because they think she's copying it. They're all copying each other. Anyway, I still predict she's going to have an alcohol drink next. This is just her putting her toe in the
Yes, going to
beverage
be spiked
company.
Kim-Aid next.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
Yes, exactly. And then but of course Kourtney's thing is that she's health conscious, but I don't think this sounds that healthy, but it's an energy drink. Oh, energy drink.
Yeah, none of that sounds.
Oof, no. Princess Diana's butler says that Meghan becoming a politician is not so far-fetched. I think it is. She thinks that she could become the governor of California.
Meghan Markle?
Yeah.
I don't.
Never, ever.
No.
And then there was just like a funny a line in there where he said, I don't think that he really was, wait, hold on.
It doesn't seem like she's like expressed interest in anything like that either. Has she?
Yes, I think she was always leaning towards that, but since her dip in popularity, there's no way.
Okay.
If the popularity had remained where it was the day she got married, then I honestly think that might have been her plan. Is because she was so popular, then we were going to do our own thing in California. Remember, originally they thought they could keep the name and they could brand all that stuff. Then they said, you can't have the Sussex name.
Right.
Then they got the deal with Spotify. That's over with. You know, he's not a podcaster. He's not a TV exec, but maybe he could be a politician. I totally disagree with the story. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't see, and I don't know why you would want to escape all the bullshit, like, that they either claim to have gone through or have gone through to then go throw yourself into American politics.
Do you think they'll ever get to a place to be on like We Television's boot camp?
Wife swap.
Because if that was still around, they've got to bring that back. Oh my God, Meghan. Like if we had a sketch show, that's what I'd want to do. I'd want to do wife swap.
Yeah.
With Meghan and Harry. And have two little redhead kids, Archie and whatever the other one's name is, Libabette. Yeah, that would be. No, this is not happening. Meanwhile, Brad Pitt, they're in a lawsuit. She's saying Angelina Jolie's sold her portion of the Rosé company to this big company. That company is now suing Brad Pitt, saying you've spent all this money, you haven't promoted the thing to spite Angelina, you've added all this other stuff to the big mansion, the chateau. They said he's including $1 million on a swimming pool, renovations, building and rebuilding a staircase 4 times, and spending millions to restore a recording studio. I think we know what's coming.
What?
Brad Pitt's going to do a podcast. Join me and my celebrity friends as we drink my rosé in my chateau in France. My first guest, George Clooney.
Yes, of course it's going to be George Clooney. Hopefully it's only like 2 episodes. I might listen to the George Clooney one, but then I can't. Yeah, why
is he restoring a recording studio?
He doesn't do voiceover, does he?
Nope.
No.
He doesn't sing. It's going to be a podcast. He and his
marriage
celebrity
podcast.
friends. Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're right. It's going to be them drinking rosé in the. So he'll be like, I was actually doing all this for the
you.
brand.
Like,
yeah.
really? You're going to sue me? Like, I was actually trying to, like, rebrand this and make it profitable. So, anyway, that's juicy. This is a China Mall introduces husband storage pods for shopping wives. So you can pop them in there. I just thought this sounded like so funny. So you can pop them in there and they can play a video game and they're safe. They can have snacks. You know they're not going to wander off and leave you at the mall. Check them in for an hour or two, whatever the case. And they love it. They come back happy, and I think it's great.
I mean, it is great, but are we still doing that? Like, oh, gotta go shopping with the wife? Is that still a thing?
Well, yeah, because I just put it in our dorky comedy show here. I literally saved it for you. AI told me that Sarah Colonna would love this topic. That she'd be like, John gets tired walking around Neiman's.
We were in Palm Desert, and I was like, let's go shopping. And he said, what are you talking about? You never want to go shopping. And I go, I don't know. We're on El Paseo.
Such a huge street.
Might as well. We walked around for 5 minutes, and then I looked at him and I go, let's go to Armando's and get a margarita. This is the worst fucking thing I've ever thought of doing. I just don't, it's not enjoyable.
I mean, if you're
we each got one pair of Javianos and left.
If you're walking on El Paseo and you walk by, what is it called?
Armando's.
I know Armando's.
Margaritas,
which
yeah.
are enormous margaritas.
Yeah, they're real good.
And real flavorful.
Yeah.
And really good Mexican
Yeah.
food. And you happen to pass that and you're not like excited to buy clothes, yeah, you're going to stop for a margarita.
Yes. But the shopping lasted 5 minutes and I haven't brought it up again.
Have you ever?
His pod was Armando's. That was my husband pod, but also I went in it with him.
I love it. I have to just tell you this one last thing before I let you go. This sponsored ad came into my feed. It's called Vitality, and it looked like a documentary for a cult. But you can go this weekend.
Vitality. It starts with
it's
what
Vitality.
Does even Vitality mean?
Vitality. This is it's a breathing thing, and it's like whatever, $150 for the day to like get over your trauma, and it's like everybody's like lying on mats, and they're like breathing, and they're like, if you're not ready to change your life, then scroll along and don't buy this day. And I'm like.
Oh,
it's all about the breath work.
No, it's
breath work.
That's all my worst nightmare. First of all, being in a room with a bunch
of
other people screaming.
I can't wait to see the text of Jonah Hill being like, you know what? You didn't want to go to the Vitality Day with me, so that you could go surf with an unapproved male. What did he say? He said
unapproved
boundaryless
male
surfer.
Yeah.
I went to Vitality and worked on myself.
Yeah, well, you went to coffee with a toxic friend from your past.
I went to Vitality.
Yeah.
Anyway, just look at some of these clips. One shot, they're laying on their back. They're in a group of other screaming people. You know what this reminds me of, Drake? I think you're going to remember this story. Well, my younger son was in Boy Scouts, and they go, oh my God, do you guys want to go tonight at the museum? You spend the night at the museum in downtown LA where like the dinosaurs and stuff are. Okay, natural, whatever that museum is.
Natural history.
So I go, okay, but I sign up for all three kids and me. Peter bows out, smart guy. And I bring all of our sleeping bags and everything, but I just had a feeling, and I go, guys, let's just like leave it in the trunk and then we'll come back and get it before we go to bed here. Okay. So we go through the museum and it's fun and there's pizza and everything. And now it's time to like get your bed together where you can sleep under like the dinosaur bones or whatever. And I'm like, what do you guys think? Should we go back and pack it up, or do you want to just maybe go home and then we like go out for pancakes in the morning and like, and they're like, we can just go home, Mom. I'm like, okay. So we go home. I get the report of how horrific it was because, first of all, it was supposed to be for Dad. But some moms went too. The few moms that went said it was so awful because it was like 50 dads over 45 in like snoring harmony in the high acoustics, bouncing off the bones of the. And I'm like, and the kids weren't sleeping, and they were complaining and like echoing. It was the worst night's sleep of anyone's life. And you're on a concrete floor with a sleeping bag.
No, I mean, why would anyone do that? You guys made the right choice to go leave and go get pancakes the next day.
It reminded me of like everyone just screaming in downtown LA, and somebody being like, "Are you going to tell me what happened when you were 4? Not, motherfucker, daughter fucker, chuckle fucker." Oh my God, on that closer. Listen, Sarah, what is going on? I just saw you have a television appearance coming up.
Yeah, well,
please tell everyone.
It was last night.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, because it comes out Thursday morning, and it was Wednesday night, but you can watch it on demand. I hosted a couple Married at First Sight clip shows with my podcast host, Mary. Because we have Are You My Podcast, which we do Married at First Sight. Right now, Married at First Sight is now officially off until the next season starts, which I don't know when that is. So we just do really fun, ridiculous topics, like dumb shit that we find. And so if you want to listen to that, it comes out on Thursdays as well. But, listen to Heather's first.
It's fine. It's okay.
We don't do the same thing at all. And clutchwomen.com to get your 20% off a Juicy Scoop. If you guys, football season's coming.
It's round the corner.
Yes. And so those are your stadium-approved bags, also good for concerts. And Comedy Club at Kansas City, August 10th through 12th. And Tacoma to Comedy Club, September 14th through 16th. Please come see me. That's all on sarahcolonna.com.
Will Prince Harry be joining you at the Tacoma one?
Yes, he will definitely be at the Tacoma shows with me, as that's his.
And how do you feel about sometimes when some fans I've heard in the past have gotten a little grabby with his arms? Do you want to? Are you okay with that, providing they bought a full price ticket? Or okay,
if you buy a book too, it's even more. You can squeeze both biceps. If I'm selling books at the end, you can have a little squeeze on both.
Okay, that's great.
And can I just say thank you to the Juicy Scoopers for the nice posts about my dad. And you reached out right away, and then also, and I don't want to cry, but just it was very nice to read nice messages from people. So thank you.
I loved one where someone said I ran into him, and he was so proud of Sarah. So I was like, I had to screen grab that and send that to you.
Yeah, thank you. He was a good one.
Oh,
happy podcast, everybody.
That's why we didn't talk about it till now. Oh, I love you.
Love you too.